This Christmas, I had planned to take my mother to Hawaii. When my wife discovered my plans, she called me selfish and heartless, demanding that I bring her mother along too. After I agreed to include my mother-in-law, my wife claimed I had no social awareness and insisted I invite her brother and sister as well. It wasn't until I arrived at the airport that I realized my own mother was the only person who had been left behind. Her brother sneered at me. "It's Christmas. Can you not kill the mood?" Her sister added coldly, "She's not here." "So what? It's not like your mom is really one of us anyway." My mother-in-law delivered the final blow. "If you're so determined to bring your mother, then you can just turn around and go home to her. Don't come with us and ruin our vacation." I let out a cold laugh. They wanted a trip to Hawaii. Fine. I was going to give them one they'd never forget. The forgotten promise. After relocating for a promotion, I hadn't managed to make it home to spend Christmas with my mom for 3 years. This year, a major project at my firm wrapped up early, so I thought I'd take her to Hawaii for the holidays, a chance to finally make it up to her. I called her that evening to share the news, and she was absolutely ecstatic. We ended up chatting about everything and nothing for another hour before she finally, reluctantly, hung up. At dinner that night, my wife Miranda was unusually quiet and looked annoyed. I tried to sound concerned. "What's wrong, honey? Have you been working too hard lately?" My attempt at kindness only made her angrier. She slammed her fork down on the table. "Oh, so you do still know how to care about me? I thought the only person you had in your heart was your mother," she snapped. "You're just going to take her to Hawaii for Christmas? Just the two of you? Hasn't my mom been good to you? Why wouldn't you take her too? If anyone found out, they'd say you treat your mother-in-law horribly." I honestly couldn't follow her logic. Not taking her mom on this specific trip meant I was a bad son-in-law. "My dad died when I was young," I said, trying to keep my voice even. "My mom raised me all by herself through some really tough times. She's never even been on a plane. I just want to take her somewhere special, just for her." "My dad died even earlier than yours," she shot back. "If we're talking about who had it harder, my mom wins hands down. In the 3 years we've been married, your mom has visited once. My mom is over here every other week cooking and cleaning for us. If she heard you were leaving her out, she'd be devastated. I wish she hadn't brought that up. Thinking about it just made my heart ache for my own mom. I was the first kid from my small Midwestern town to go to college. After graduation, I landed a decent job in the city, which is how I met Miranda. She was a local girl whose father had passed away early, leaving her mother to raise her, an older brother, and a younger sister. Our similar backgrounds felt like a connection, and we got married pretty quickly. My mom came for the wedding. She's a simple, honest woman from a farming town without much formal education. She took a 10-hour bus ride just to see me. I can still see her so clearly, pulling a worn, patched-up canvas bag onto her lap. She unwrapped a stack of old newspapers layer by layer, revealing a bank book inside. "Son," she'd said, her voice thick with emotion, "there's $20,000 in here. You're married now, and you'll have a lot of expenses. You take this." It was her entire life savings. "Mom, I can't take this," I protested. "I just got a big promotion. My salary is much better now. I have enough. You need to keep this." "You listen to me, Ethan," she insisted. "Take it. I'm not there with you, and if something urgent comes up, this money can help you." A lump formed in my throat, and all I could do was nod and accept it. My mom must have seen it then, that Miranda's family looked down on me. They saw me as some poor kid from the sticks. I'd overheard my mother-in-law trying to convince Miranda to find someone with money. But Miranda had defended me. "Mom, stop it. I'm going to marry him. If you want someone rich, you go find one yourself. I'm not marrying anyone else." That one sentence made me determined to work my ass off. I believed that if I just tried hard enough, I could change their opinion of me. Remembering that, I decided to let the argument go. "Okay," I sighed. "How about this? We'll take both of them. We'll all go to Hawaii for Christmas together." Miranda's expression finally softened. "That's more like it," she said. My year-end bonus hasn't come through yet, so we'll have to use your money for this. I frowned. Your bonus still hasn't hit. Shouldn't you ask your boss about it? Ask him. And what? Look desperate. I'm a team lead at a tech startup, for God's sake. I can't have people thinking I'm hurting for cash. Apparently, I'd wounded her pride. She stopped eating and went straight to the bedroom to binge a series on Netflix. After college, Miranda had bounced from job to job, never satisfied. It wasn't until she landed at this green energy startup and got a fast-track promotion that she finally settled down. After I was promoted to marketing director, my salary went up significantly. For the 3 years we'd been married, I'd covered all our expenses. The unwelcome guests. The next day, I went to the seafood market to pick up some fresh fish and lobster, planning to make Miranda a nice dinner. With Christmas just around the corner, the market was a zoo. By the time I got home, it was already late. I could hear arguing from inside before I even opened the door. Ethan, you're back. Finally, get in the kitchen. We're starving. As I walked in, Miranda's sister, Vanessa, yelled at me from the couch. I saw her son scribbling on the living room wall with a permanent marker and winced. Thank God that's a tile accent wall, it should wipe off. Hi, Patricia. You're here, I said, greeting my mother-in-law. Why are you so late? She demanded. Do you have any idea how long we've been waiting? Are you seeing another woman on the side? Is that why you're always home late? Before I could answer, Miranda walked in from the patio. Oh, my sweet girl is home, Patricia cooed, rushing past me to hug Miranda. You must be freezing. I was used to being invisible. I took the seafood into the kitchen. By the time I finished cooking and cleaning up, they were already at the dining table eating. I grabbed a plate and served myself. Honey, I told Mom about the trip, Miranda said, smiling. She's thrilled. I am, Patricia started, and then her eyes welled up with tears. It just breaks my heart to see you working so hard, a woman slaving away every day. And now you're spending all this money on a vacation and bringing your mother-in-law too. It must cost a fortune. Mom, I'm paying for the trip, I clarified. Hearing that, Patricia's tears vanished. Her tone shifted instantly. Oh, Ethan. Well, it's not about the money, you know. It's the thought that counts. If you're being so considerate, then of course I'll go. Vanessa suddenly chimed in. Well, Mom, that kind of messes up my plans. I was going to have you over for the holidays. It's no problem, Vanessa, I said, trying to be helpful. If your mom would rather go to your place, that's perfectly fine with me. Vanessa glared at me. What is that supposed to mean? Her voice rose, sharp and angry. Don't think you're hot stuff just because you have a little money. You plan a trip with my mom without even talking to us, and now you're trying to act all generous. Who do you think you're kidding? You're misunderstanding me. What's all the shouting about? Before I could finish, Miranda's brother, Garrett, slammed his chopsticks on the table. Miranda, you need to get your husband under control, he said, pointing at me. Vanessa can't even say 2 words to him. Tell me the truth, does he bully you at home? Does he think you don't have a family to back you up? The accusation was so ugly I was about to lose it, but Miranda put a hand on my arm. Everyone, just stop. You're going to give Mom a heart attack. I was seething but trapped. Every time I clashed with her family, this was her solution: shut it down, smooth it over, make me the one to back off. Furious, I went to our bedroom and shut the door. But I could still hear them tearing me apart. Seriously, Miranda, your husband has a major anger problem. Who does he think he's scowling at? If he wasn't my brother-in-law, I'd have taught him a lesson by now. Miranda, be honest with me. Does he treat you like this all the time? The things they were saying were vile. I grabbed the doorknob, ready to storm out and confront them. That's enough, I heard Miranda say, her voice firm. This is my house. Stop screaming. Hearing her defend me, even a little, made my hand fall from the knob. Fighting would only put her in a difficult position. I figured I'd just avoid Vanessa and Garrett from now on. After a while, the noise outside died down. I opened the door. The dining room was a mess. The siblings had left, but my mother-in-law was still there. "Ethan, you need to apologize to Mom right now," Miranda said immediately, pulling me in front of her mother. "You got her so worked up her blood pressure shot up." I glanced at Miranda, remembering that she had at least tried to stand up for me. I gave in. "I'm sorry, Patricia." She didn't say a word. Miranda sat down next to her. "Mom, don't be angry anymore." Ethan apologized. "You're a bigger person than that. Please just forgive him this time." At Miranda's urging, Patricia finally looked at me. "Ethan, it's not my place to criticize, but you've been married for 3 years. How have you not learned to control that explosive temper of yours? You fly off the handle at the smallest thing. It makes me regret letting Miranda marry you. I'd been holding back all night, but their constant pushing had worn me down. I couldn't take it anymore." "You know what, Patricia? You're right. It was a mistake for me to invite you to Hawaii without thinking it through. Since Vanessa wants you to spend Christmas with her, I'll just take my own mom this time. We'll plan something with you another time, well in advance." I don't know if they caught the sarcasm in my voice, but I could see the color drain from my mother-in-law's face. "So this is the wonderful husband you just had to marry," she shrieked at Miranda. "I say 2 words to him and this is how he talks to me. Do either of you have any respect for me as your mother?" And then came the waterworks. She started sobbing about how she'd sacrificed everything to raise her 3 children, how much she'd suffered, and how now in her old age she couldn't even enjoy a moment of peace. I just stood there watching her perform, saying nothing. She raised Miranda, not me. I hadn't even had a chance to properly honor my own mother, and here I was taking abuse from her day in and day out. Miranda wrapped her arms around her mother, shooting me a look filled with blame. "Don't worry, Mom. I'm in charge of this house," she declared. "For Christmas, I'm taking you, Garrett, and Vanessa. Our whole family is going to Hawaii together." As if on cue, her goal achieved, my mother-in-law stopped crying. She started stroking Miranda's hair, praising what a good, loyal daughter she was. I watched them, 2 people acting like I was just a piece of furniture, and went back to the bedroom. A few minutes later, Miranda followed me in. "So, my brother and sister are coming with us for the holidays," she announced. I didn't look at her, just kept scrolling through TikTok on my phone. "Fine by me." She seemed surprised at how easily I agreed. "See, this is my husband. So reasonable. I take my mom, you take your family. Sounds perfectly fair to me," I said flatly. The smile vanished from her face. If she wanted to be the dutiful daughter, fine. I wasn't going to stop her from having that opportunity. "Why don't you understand how these things work?" she said, her voice rising in frustration. "You and Vanessa were just at each other's throats. Going on a trip together would be a good way to smooth things over." "I haven't been home for Christmas in years," I said, my patience gone. "Now that I finally have the time, all I want is to give my mom a nice vacation." Her sister despised me. I was done wasting energy on people who would never change. "If your mom found out you were fighting with my family because of her," Miranda said slowly, "do you think she'd even be in the mood to go on vacation? Are you threatening me?" I stared at her, my blood running cold. "It's not a threat when it's family," she said, coming over to hug me and stroking my hair like I was a child. "Your mom wouldn't want to see you on bad terms with us. I'm doing this for your own good. If my mom knew about this mess, she would worry herself sick. It was better to just keep the peace." "Fine," I relented. "They can come, but they're paying their own way." "Of course. I'll call them right now," she said, beaming. "You're the best, honey." She gave me a quick kiss and practically skipped out of the room. The perfect betrayal. For the rest of the time leading up to the trip, her family left me alone. In a surprising turn, Miranda handled all the arrangements for Hawaii. She offered to be the one to pick up my mom. I was uneasy about it, but she was so enthusiastic that I didn't want to undermine her. On the day of the flight, my mother-in-law refused to take an Uber to the airport, claiming I was wasting money, so I had to drag our 2 massive suitcases onto the subway for a 2-hour ride to LAX. "Ethan, what took you so long?" Vanessa complained the second she saw me. "You knew you had extra luggage. You should have left earlier." I ignored her and called Miranda. Hey, did you get my mom? Just picked her up, she said, her voice staticky. We're stuck in traffic. I might have to rebook our flight. My stomach dropped. Oh, wait. We can rebook together. No, don't do that. It's a waste of money. Your mom said you should go ahead. The moment the plane landed, I turned on my phone, ready to call. But then I saw Miranda walking out of the gate right behind me. You made the flight? Why didn't you tell me? Where's my mom? I asked, scanning the crowd behind her. I didn't see my mother. Miranda stammered, avoiding my eyes. A terrible feeling washed over me. I'm asking you a question. Where's my mom? My voice was louder than I intended. Ethan, let's just get to the hotel first. I'll explain on the way. I yanked my arm away from her, grabbed my suitcase, and immediately dialed my mom's number. Mom, where are you? I'm at home, son, she said, sounding confused. Miranda called and said the plans had changed, so I canceled my ticket. Is something wrong? I was so furious I could barely speak. I took a few deep breaths to steady myself. No, nothing's wrong. I was just checking in. I've got something I need to handle here. I'll call you back. After hanging up, the world spun for a second. I gripped the handle of my suitcase until my knuckles turned white, waiting for the dizziness to pass. Ethan, are you okay? I turned to look at her, and without thinking, I slapped her across the face. You're a fantastic actress, I spat. You should be in Hollywood. I couldn't believe she had deceived me for so long. She never lifted a finger to help with anything at home, which made her sudden enthusiasm for planning this trip make perfect, sickening sense. Ethan, please let me explain. There's nothing to explain, Vanessa cut in before Miranda could speak. This is a family vacation. What would be the point of bringing your mom? I shot her a look that was pure ice. You're right, I said, my voice dangerously calm. You're all one big family, so you guys have fun. Oh, by the way, I paid for your plane tickets. You can Venmo me now. I pulled out my phone and held up the QR code to their faces. Come on, Ethan. Don't be like this, Garrett said. We're here to have a good time. Don't ruin it for everyone. Ruin it. They had no idea. I remembered the party to celebrate my promotion to marketing director. Vanessa had spent the whole night making snide remarks, saying a country boy like me getting a middle management job was nothing to celebrate, that it was just embarrassing. What's all the racket? My mother-in-law snapped, embarrassed by the stares we were getting. You have no class. If you don't want to be here, then go home. You're ruining my mood. Miranda grabbed my arm and tried to hustle me toward the taxi stand. I didn't say another word on the way to the hotel. I pulled out my phone and booked the first flight back home for the morning after next. I wasn't wasting another minute of my Christmas on these vampires. They wanted to play. We'd play. The reckoning. At the hotel, I got to the check-in desk first and picked up the 4-room keys. Perfect, Miranda said, reaching for them. One for us, one for my mom, and one each for Garrett and Vanessa. I looked at her standing there acting as if nothing had happened. I never realized how shameless she could be. Who said these rooms were for you? I asked, pulling the keys back. Are you going to stay in 4 rooms by yourself? Vanessa shot back. I ignored her. I booked these rooms. Did I ever say you could stay in them? Ethan, look, we've had a long day, Miranda pleaded, trying a softer approach. My mom's not young. Whatever you're mad about, take it out on me. But please don't make her suffer. Oh, this is making her suffer. I scoffed. What about when you lied and made my mom cancel her ticket? I guess you weren't worried about making her suffer then, were you? I must have been blind to marry such a selfish woman. You want a room? Fine. See that sign? Rooms are $1,500 a night. Transfer the money. Are you insane? Vanessa shrieked. You want me to pay you? In your dreams. She grabbed her suitcase and started to storm out. It's peak season, I called after her, casually settling onto a lobby sofa. Good luck finding another hotel. Mommy, I can't walk anymore, Vanessa's son whined, plopping down on the floor. I'm tired. I want to sleep. Defeated, Vanessa turned her frustration on Miranda. This is the great husband you married. He's trying to scam his own family. I just checked online, Miranda said, her voice strained. There's nothing else available. Seeing that I wouldn't budge, she turned to her family. What an ungrateful bastard, Garrett muttered, glaring at me but making no move to pull out his wallet. Besides the rooms, I added calmly, don't forget to send me the money for the plane tickets. Miranda. Patricia demanded, turning on her daughter. You said you were paying for the flights. Why is he asking us for money now? I raised an eyebrow. So that's what she told them. Vain, selfish, and a freeloader. She's paying. I laughed. In the 3 years we've been married, she hasn't contributed a single dime to our household expenses. If you're waiting for her to pay, you'll be waiting a long time. How much? Patricia snapped. I'll pay you, probably trying to shut me up before I embarrassed her precious daughter any further. 3,000. That much? I don't have that kind of money on me. So you want a free vacation without any money, Patricia? Are you trying to get a free ride too? She clutched her chest dramatically, and her children rushed to her side. I watched, unimpressed. Same old trick. So boring. Oh dear. Looks like a heart problem, I yelled toward the front desk. Someone call 911. There's an elderly woman collapsing in the lobby. Since they had no shame, I was happy to strip it away for them completely. Am I shouting? My mother-in-law suddenly recovered. 3,000 it is. I'll transfer it to you, she grumbled. Once the money hit my account, I placed 3 key cards on the table. You should use that trick less often, I said coldly. One of these days, it might just come true. I walked away without looking back at their furious faces. This was just the beginning. Back in my room, I took a shower. Just as I got out, the doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole and saw Miranda. I opened the door but blocked the entrance. What do you want? Ethan, I came to apologize. Can I please come in so we can talk? I didn't move. My refusal was obvious. Ethan, look, you've let off some steam. You got your money back. Can we please just let this go? Seeing her playing the part of the wronged, pleading wife was laughable. You think you're a victim here? I asked. For 3 years, the way your family has looked down on me, the things they've said behind my back, don't tell me you didn't know. For 3 years, every time they insulted me, she never defended me. She always took their side, or at best tried to smooth things over. Now I saw how stupid I'd been. A few half-hearted words from her, and I'd back down because I didn't want to make things hard for her. Ethan, I was wrong, she said, her voice trembling. I shouldn't have listened to them and lied to you. I promise when we get back I'll be a better daughter-in-law to your mom. We can even have her come live with us. You're always saying she must be lonely by herself. Seeing the cold look on my face, she started to look genuinely panicked for the first time. No need, I said. I wouldn't dare trouble you. Since your family considers my mother an outsider, then that makes you and I outsiders too. Ethan, she begged, standing in the hallway, but this time I saw right through her. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I shut the door in her face. Ethan, I'm not leaving until you forgive me, she called through the door. I ignored her and went to bed. The stolen card. The next morning, I was jolted awake by frantic banging on my door. Still half asleep, I opened it. A pair of hands shoved hard at my chest. I sidestepped, and Miranda went stumbling past me, falling to the floor. It took me a second to realize she had just tried to push me. It's not a special occasion, I said dryly, looking down at her sprawled on the carpet. But if you're going to bow like that, I should remind you I don't have a gift for you. I watched coldly as she scrambled to her feet. You have a heart of stone, my mother-in-law shrieked, helping Miranda up and pointing a finger in my face. Are you even human? You let her sit on the floor out here all night. I glanced at Miranda. Such a dramatic display of devotion. Pathetic. I didn't ask her to stay. Take your precious daughter and get out. Patricia dragged Miranda away. I scoffed. It was a good act, but I had gotten up in the middle of the night to check. The hallway was empty. When did you get in here? I just then noticed Garrett was in my room. I hadn't seen him come in at all. While you were arguing with my mom, I came in to help my sister. I stared at him. He looked nervous, but I couldn't figure out why. Don't bother explaining anything to him. Let's go, Miranda said quickly, pulling him out of my room. The two of them were whispering as they left. Something felt very wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. After they were gone, I started packing. My flight was early the next morning, and I wanted to be ready for whatever drama they planned to start next. As I was putting my wallet in my bag, I did a quick check. My debit card was missing. The missing card was the one I used for household expenses. The money for this Hawaii trip was also transferred into that account. Thinking back to Miranda and Garrett's panicked expressions, it clicked. They had stolen it. Her desperate pleading at my door last night was nothing but a cynical performance. The plan must have been for her to get into the room and take the card herself. When that failed, they staged the chaotic scene this morning as a diversion. This family was utterly disgusting. I cracked my door open slightly. Sure enough, the woman who had been the picture of remorse just hours ago was now laughing and heading out with her family. That was brilliant, Miranda. Great idea, I heard Garrett say, casually flipping my debit card in his hand. Miranda glanced nervously toward my door. Don't talk about it, she hissed. And you promised me after this you'll try to get along with him. I've lied to him too many times. I can't do it again. As they disappeared down the hall, I picked up my phone and dialed 911. Hello. I'd like to report a burglary. After the call, I immediately contacted my bank and had the card frozen. The police were at the hotel reviewing the security footage when a call came through from Miranda. Ethan, what's wrong with the card? It's not working. She sounded frantic. In the background, I could hear someone mocking them. Can't pay. You order a $1,500 meal, finish everything, and now you're telling me the card's declined. Are you trying to dine and dash? I said nothing and hung up. A few seconds later, she called again. I answered, and this time it was my mother-in-law. Unfreeze that card right now, she screeched. We need money out here. The money you earned belongs to my daughter too. Don't you dare try to keep it all for yourself. I had the phone on speaker. Everyone heard her. The two police officers exchanged a look. Officers, you heard that? I said. Please help me file a report as soon as possible. My phone started vibrating nonstop, one call after another. I ignored them and went with the police to the station to give my statement. When I came out of the interview room, all four of them were there. Are you out of your mind? Vanessa lunged at me, claws out. You called the cops over something this small? An officer stepped in her way. Ma'am, this is a police station. You want to try that again, he said sternly. She backed down. I called the cops on a thief, I said calmly. Why are you so worked up? Just tell the police you found your card, Patricia ordered me. I sat down across from them. Sorry. A formal complaint has been filed. When they catch the thief, I plan to press charges to the fullest extent of the law. As I spoke, I locked eyes with Garrett. He started to panic, his gaze darting to Miranda. Ethan, she began, walking over to me. She leaned in, away from the officers, and whispered, I was the one who took the card. Just drop the charges. Looking at her face now just made me sick. I slapped her twice, hard. The sound echoed in the quiet station. Her face immediately turned red and began to swell. He's hitting her. Domestic abuse. Why aren't you doing anything? Vanessa yelled at the cops. That's a domestic dispute between a husband and wife, one of the officers replied dismissively. The officer who took my statement had told me that in all his years, he'd never seen a family so messed up. He advised me to seriously reconsider my situation. I nodded. Don't worry, I told him. I'm not jumping back into that fire. Seeing the police were on my side, Vanessa shut up. Ethan, Patricia said suddenly, trying a gentle tone. We're all family. There's no need to take it this far. She reached for my hand. I pulled away and wiped my own hand with a tissue in disgust. Her face fell. Whose family with you? I sneered. Does family steal from each other? You're all way too high class for a country boy like me. Don't push your luck, Garrett snarled when he realized I wasn't backing down. If you don't drop this, I'll kill you. He lunged at me, fist raised. 2 officers immediately tackled him to the ground. He struggled wildly, scraping his face on the concrete floor until it bled. I was done with him. I pushed past Miranda, who was trying to stand in my way. My lawyer will be in touch about the divorce, I said, my voice void of emotion. And don't ever call me your husband again. Hearing it from you makes me want to vomit. As I left the station, I could hear my mother-in-law wailing inside. It was my son. He stole it. Arrest him, not my daughter. It has nothing to do with her. You old witch. Garrett screamed back. You'd sacrifice me to save her. Not a chance. If I'm going down, we're all going down together. The sound of their curses followed me out the door. I just laughed. The truth unveiled. I used to think they just looked down on me. Now I see they're just selfish people who only love themselves. The wife I thought loved me so deeply had only ever loved herself. She knew her family was toxic and selfish, and she used me as a buffer to create a stable life for herself. What a brilliant strategy. The next morning at checkout, I ran into them returning to the hotel, looking disheveled and defeated. I'm begging you, please just tell the police to drop it, my mother-in-law pleaded. If they get a criminal record, their lives will be ruined. The woman now groveling at my feet was unrecognizable from the one who had always treated me with contempt. I ignored her and started to walk away. I heard a thud. I turned back to see she had dropped to her knees on the marble floor. Please, I'm begging you. I'll get on my knees. I'll do anything, she cried, preparing to bow her head to the ground. Onlookers were starting to stare and whisper. Realizing they were trying to use public pressure to shame me into submission, I spoke up, my voice loud and clear. Mom, what are you doing? Get up. Of course I want to help them, but what can I do? She and my brother-in-law snuck into my room and stole my bank card. The police have already filed a report. My hands are tied. What kind of people are they, stealing from family? Someone in the crowd muttered. The murmurs grew louder. I added more fuel to the fire. You all deliberately left my mother behind and tricked me into coming here, and I was willing to let it go, I said, my voice filled with sorrow. My mom raised me all by herself. It wasn't easy. Right now, all I want to do is go home and be with her. With that, I dragged my suitcase and walked away, leaving them to the judgment of the crowd. Behind me, I heard a gasp. My ex-mother-in-law, overcome with rage and humiliation, had actually fainted. Coming home. Back home, I contacted a lawyer and then drove straight to my mom's house. I stayed for 3 days. Miranda called relentlessly, but I didn't answer a single one. There was nothing left to say. The night before I left, my mom and I had a long talk. Ethan, have you really thought this through about the divorce? Mom, how did you know? I asked, surprised. I hadn't told her anything, not wanting to worry her. Miranda called yesterday. She figured you were here when she couldn't find you at home. She said you two had a fight and were talking about divorce. I was quiet. I didn't know how to begin to describe the last 3 years of my life to her. She thought I had married a wonderful woman. I even gave my mom gifts for holidays and birthdays and told her they were from Miranda. How could I tell her now that her daughter-in-law's family had never once accepted me? After a long silence, my mom spoke first. Ethan, as long as you've thought it through, that's all that matters. Whatever you decide, I will support you. All the emotion I had been bottling up for so long finally burst. I broke down and sobbed. I rarely cried in front of my mom. I knew how hard her life had been raising me alone. Ever since I left for college and work, I had only ever told her the good news, never the bad. I didn't want her to worry when I was so far away. She held me tight, just like when I was a little boy. It's okay, son. It's okay. A divorce is not the end of the world. It's going to be okay. When I left, she had packed my trunk full of food from her garden. I told her that as soon as I got things settled, I was coming back to bring her to the city with me. This time, she didn't refuse. She just nodded. The final confrontation. When I opened the door to my house, Miranda was waiting for me. Ethan, you're back. Are you tired? Are you hungry? I can make you something. I looked at her fawning display, felt nothing, and walked past her to the bedroom to pack the rest of my things. She followed me, and then with a thud, dropped to her knees. Ethan, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Please don't divorce me. Please. I continued folding my clothes. There's no one else here, I said calmly. Who are you performing for? She crawled over and grabbed my leg. Ethan, I mean it. My brother and sister are still in holding. If you don't want to help them, don't. I can't live without you. I love you. Watching her cry, I felt not a flicker of emotion. I shook her off my leg. It's too late, I said. I gave you too many chances. Your family insulted me and humiliated me time and time again, and you always just tried to smooth things over. Now you're helping them scam me. I'm done. This divorce is on you, and I have no intention of making it easy. If you don't agree to my terms, I'll see you in court. On my way out, I passed the large wedding photo we had hanging in the hall. I picked up a glass from a side table and hurled it at the picture. The glass shattered, and the frame caved in right over her face. Marrying you, I said, not looking back, was the biggest mistake of my life. But I can't blame you. I can only blame myself for being so blind. The lawyer was fast. A few days later, he called me in. When I arrived at his office, Miranda was there, and so was her mother. Miss Sullivan, my lawyer began, do you have any objections to the terms of the settlement? Miranda just stared at me. After a long moment, she shook her head. No objections. Whatever he wants. I object. I don't agree, her mother shouted. The down payment for that house came from me. Why should it all go to you? You monster, you've ruined my family, and now you want to take my house. Over my dead body. The down payment was from the wedding gift money I gave you, I shot back. You used my money. I've been paying the mortgage for 3 years by myself. I paid for every grocery bill, every vacation, every gift I bought for you and your family. Your daughter never paid for a thing, and you have the nerve to stand there and ask me why. The apple really doesn't fall far from the tree. So what if we used your gift money? My daughter is beautiful. Marrying her was the best thing that ever happened to you. You should be grateful. That's enough, Mom, Miranda said quietly. Her mother stared at her, stunned that her own daughter would turn on her. He's right, Miranda said, her voice choked. For years, he paid for everything. It was my fault. I didn't appreciate him. Honey, why are you saying that about yourself? You're wonderful. He was never good enough for you, her mother cried, reaching out to touch her daughter's face. I've had enough. Miranda yelled, slapping her mother's hand away. Her eyes were red with rage and resentment. If it wasn't for you, he never would have divorced me. This is all your fault. Honey, my daughter, you. The mother, finally faced with the consequences of her actions, collapsed onto the table, sobbing. This time, the tears looked real. If you want to put on a show, do it at home, I said coldly. If there are no issues, sign the papers. Don't waste my time. My lawyer pushed the documents in front of her. Before she signed, she looked at me one last time, her eyes pleading. Is there really no chance for us? I met her gaze, my voice firm. None. As I left, she followed me out of the office, leaving her wailing mother behind. In my car's rearview mirror, I could see her standing on the curb, watching me drive away. I let out a bitter laugh. Not everything can be fixed. A new beginning. After the divorce, I threw myself into my work. I landed several major accounts, built a name for myself in the industry, and my income tripled. My co-workers joked that I was a classic case of unlucky in love, lucky in business. I just smiled. My only goal now was to work hard and give my mother the life she deserved. I brought my mom to live with me in a bright, spacious new house. She took to it immediately, keeping the house immaculate and spending her free time making friends with other seniors in the community, chatting and even joining a line dancing group. The smile rarely left her face. One evening, I was at the grocery store with my mom when we ran into Miranda. She looked worn out and tired. The arrogant confidence she used to carry was gone, replaced by a deep-seated loneliness. Seeing me with my mom, she froze, her lips trembling as if she wanted to say something. I just gave her a polite nod and started to push my cart away. My mother simply sighed and didn't give her a second glance. "Ethan," Miranda finally found her voice. I know it's too late to say anything now. I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry. I didn't appreciate what I had." I stopped and looked at her. "It's all in the past," I said calmly. "I hope you can build a good life for yourself." Then I turned and walked away without looking back. Outside, the sun felt warm on my skin. Later, through a friend, I met a kind and gentle woman. She loved me, supported me emotionally, and enjoyed spending time with my mother, cooking and chatting. With her, I felt the warmth of a real home again. I knew this time I hadn't made a mistake. My life, my real, happy life, was just getting started.